Just how much bad behavior is in bad behavior? Let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about Bad Behavior, which came to digital and VOD on June 14th, 2024. It is a film that is written, directed, and stars Alice Englert. It also has Jennifer Connelly and Ben Whishaw. My hot take is, I think you should pass on it. It is a movie that seems like a very personal story. It deals with pain. It deals with kind of like overcoming your own pain and maybe substituting for other things. But it takes a long time to get to the bad behavior. I didn't really find it that interesting. It is beautiful. It has a very beautiful, cinematic style. It has a great cast. But overall, I didn't enjoy this movie as much as I expected to. So I think you should ultimately pass on it. But all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little about the film, a few things I like, a few things I didn't like, and then really, really quickly go into a recap of the film. So if you don't know what happens in this movie, and you might not, there are some surprises along the way. I would turn off when I get to the recap. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler free. I'll let you know I get to those spoilers. So in Bad Behavior, you have Lucy, who's a former child actor who goes on a strange retreat. She's seeking enlightenment. She's seeking some sort of guidance. Meanwhile, her daughter, Dylan, is a stunt performer in a movie who is also seeking something to fill a void in her. Do they get what they're looking for? And how much bad behavior is involved? Well, you have to watch the movie to find out. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, I liked the second half. It had a much better second half than the first half. The first half was a little bit long, a little bit slow, not super interesting to me. The second half was better. So if you can wait through to the second half, you might enjoy this film a lot more. The second thing I love the cast. It's a great cast. You've got Jennifer Connelly, you've got Ben Whishaw. They both do really, really good in this film. And then you also have Alice Englert playing Dylan. She wrote, directed, and starred in this, but she provides a nice additional voice and a different way to kind of take on this pain that you have. So all that being said, things I didn't love as much about this movie. The first, it's pretty slow. It's a very slow film. I mean, part of that is because a lot of it is on a retreat, and so there is a lot of meditation, a lot of exercises, things like that. But I just didn't really find this as interesting as I expected to. I thought this would be really exciting to me, and it just wasn't. The second thing I didn't like about this movie, it's just not that interesting to me. It had dealt with some personal pain. It dealt with, trying to find a way, I guess, to fill a void in yourself through various things, but it just wasn't that exciting to me. I didn't find it very interesting. I just thought it kind of plodded along in some weird areas. And the third thing I didn't love as much, kind of related, I didn't really find it that funny. There's like some funny moments. You can tell that there are some like humorous jokes that are supposed to be in there, but I didn't find them very funny. This movie felt kind of, I don't know, maybe a little flat for most of it. And the last thing I didn't love as much, it just didn't really have a satisfying ending for me. I mean, it has an ending, and there is growth in the characters, there is a resolution, but to me, it just didn't feel as satisfied as I was expecting to. It didn't have these like big epiphanies or things like that. It just felt like the movie kind of ended. So all that being said, Bad Behavior is on digital on June 14th, 2024. Like I said, I think you should pass on it. But if you do check it out, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I would love to hear it. And I'm going to really quickly go into a recap and ending. So if you don't want to know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So in Bad Behavior, you have Lucy who goes on a retreat to the wilderness with this guru named Elon. And while she's there, there are some strange practices that happen. There's like a silent aspect to it. There's a lack of technology aspect. There's some role play type exercises that really help her like get in touch with her inner feelings and things like that. And through all of this, she develops like an antagonistic relationship with Beverly, who is this young person who early on has this like monologue sharing session where she basically says like she wishes she was dead. And this is when she's supposed to like open up, reveal her inner shame. But this seems to rub Lucy the wrong way. And afterwards, Lucy goes up and shares, and she talks about how she was a child star and now she like wants to be happy, but it never sticks. She's basically ashamed that she's essentially lived off of this role that she had as a kid, lived off the money and that character and developed an eating disorder. And basically all of her life is like funneled from that point. And she also seems to have a lot of anger with her mother because later in one of these exercises, she and Beverly are doing an exercise where I think Beverly is pretending to be her mother. That's like a mother baby exercise. And Lucy tells Beverly, like, I wish you were dead. But she was thinking about that in terms of her mother, not in terms of, Beverly. But Beverly took it that way because Beverly earlier shared that she wishes she was dead. So she seems to get offended by this. That causes Beverly to yell that Lucy is a toxic effing nightmare and storm off. And Lucy actually said, just kill yourself. So it's essentially the same thing. But because Beverly had had these suicidal thoughts, I think it struck a nerve. So Lucy tries to go up and talk to Beverly, but she leaves and they get like an antagonistic relationship after this. Now, later in another exercise, Beverly goes up to Cher and she says essentially like that she like wants to talk, but she has nothing to say. Like maybe she has nothing to say personally. And Lucy goes up to her, throws water in her face, and says, "Well, why don't you shut your mouth?" And then hits her with a chair, like WWE style, but not a like stage chair, a real chair. And so Lucy, understandably falls down with a head injury. It's not good. Beverly gets arrested because of this, and so that is the Beverly retreat arc. Now, parallel to this, you have Dylan, who is Lucy's daughter. She is in, I think, Australia, filming a movie. She is a stunt person for this movie, and so she is, doing stunts. It's like seems like a sci-fi fantasy type movie, and Dylan is also developing a relationship with the star. They practice together. They practice their stunt moves together, and through this, they also seem to develop a budding relationship. Now, Dylan seems pretty happy about this. She's constantly working, constantly trying to like do her stunts, constantly trying to be better. But some things go bad for her. One, during one of the stunt activities, the actor gets, I guess, the wrong hand. So when he, punches her, it's not the right movement, and I think he actually accidentally does punch her because she's saying it's the wrong hand, and so this causes her to fall down a hill, and so she falls all the way down a hill. She's okay, but she has a concussion, and because she has a concussion, she can't do any more stunts. So she is kind of off the movie. Now, the actor comes to see her in her tent. He says he feels horrible. He kisses her. He, seems to be nice to her. But because of this incident, she has to leave. And also finds out that the actor's girlfriend is coming to this rap party. So I think she thought that maybe they would spend some time together. But it seems like he was either using her for this time or he just, wasn't going to leave his girlfriend. So this was just a thing to do. And so this causes Dylan to be sad because A, she can't finish up this movie. And B, her actor friend is like not actually going to be a friend for her. So she is now off the set. But she also gets a call from her dad saying that your mom has been arrested and you should go see her. So now Dylan flies to, I think, California, where Lucy is being held. So now that Lucy is, arrested, she gets a public defender, she gets out on bail, and Dylan comes to see her and Dylan comes to stay with her during this time. And so they're staying, I think, in like a hotel in San Francisco. And they have an interesting relationship. They aren't super close. At some points, they like play fight for some reason. And also, Lucy really starts to kind of act like almost more of a child or more of just like a burden here. She asks a bunch of questions at like breakfast for certain things. She asks for like weird requests. At one point, Dylan like gets some like frozen pizza to eat, and Lucy heats it up, and Dylan heats it up, and then Lucy's like, she said she wasn't hungry, but then when they were sitting there, she's like, I want a piece. Now, after this weird breakfast where Lucy asked for a bunch of different things, like she asked for what the specials are, but then she's like, I'll just order the vegetarian meal with bacon. And they're like, vegetarian meal with bacon. She's like, yeah, vegetarian breakfast with bacon. But let me know what the specials are. I might change my mind. And they're like, okay, great. So you want this, but maybe not. So it is a weird scene. Again, Lucy is kind of feels almost like a kid at this point. Like almost Dylan is taking care of her. Like Lucy is in trouble. She has a public defender, and Dylan has to like watch her. Now they after this they go out for a walk and it's in like the backwoods. I guess this is near where the lawyer grew up, so he knows this area. So they're walking out in nature, and Lucy just like walks off. And so now Dylan and the public defender are like looking for her. They're like trying to figure out where she is. She's, she didn't like run. She just kind of like walked off, and no one noticed. So as they're looking, eventually Dylan and the lawyer hook up for some reason. I don't really understand why, but they hook up. And then they decide to go look for Lucy. And while they're doing this, they like look in a cave, but because they think she might be there. But while they're in there, the guru from the retreat is like hiding in the cave also, I guess. I mean, he kind of walked away once someone got unconscious at his retreat. He just like left and didn't come back. So maybe this is where he's been hiding out, trying to, figure out what to do. They don't see him. She's not in the cave. They eventually find her because Lucy has her cell phone and they figure out where she is. Now she is up on top of a mountain. And so while they're up there, It's a really pretty scene. Dylan goes up to Lucy. Lucy tells her public defender to take a picture of them. They take a nice picture up on top of the mountain, and then they play fight, and then they hug. And that is the end of the movie. So I guess they made up, I think. I don't know. Like, it didn't really feel like there was a big epiphany. I mean, Lucy was kind of a selfish child at that point, and Dylan was kind of taking care of her. But maybe they had an understanding up on top of this mountain. I'm not sure, but that is bad behavior. Like I said, I think you should pass on it. I didn't really like this movie as much as I expected to, but if you do check it out, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I would love to hear. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.